Welcome to the Alsco Uniforms It Pays to Keep Clean podcast, where we discuss industry best practices, celebrate big wins, and share stories about Alsco's growth journey. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Morning.
Very well.
So I'm here with the large projects team, and I think it's just the four of you at this point, right? This is as large as it gets, yay. So the large projects team was established in October of 2023 when we had the other organizational changes. It also happened to coincide when we were in the middle of Surrey and Vista, our new fully automated plants. But first I'm going to have you introduce yourselves a little bit, just talk about briefly your history with Alsco and maybe even before, since I think most of you have pre-Alsco experience in the industry, and then what you were doing kind of prior to the large project team. So Mike, do you want to start?
Sure. Mike Skelton. I'm the engineering manager for North America for Alsco. I've been in the business for 31 years now. I started with competitor in late 1993. And then that business was acquired by another competitor, and I was with them until 2014. Early 2015, I started with Alsco as a corporate engineer.
So this will be your 10-year anniversary then?
It's my 10-year anniversary in January.
Yay! Okay.
And then in 2020, I think, I became the engineering manager, working for Tim Steeper.
Okay. And then large projects is kind of a carve out of that group, and that started in October of 23.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And Jeffrey?
Hi, I'm Jeff Tucker. I have been with Alsco since 2005. I was previously with another company beginning in 1996 out of Atlanta and came on board when Alsco bought.
We acquired that company, right?
Yes,
yeah.
correct.
Okay.
I came on board as a corporate engineer. My primary focus at the beginning was the southeastern part of the country, and since then I found a niche with emergency breakdowns and repairs and helping facilities all throughout. Mike approached me earlier in 2025 to join the team for large projects, and I welcome it with open arms.
Good. Yeah, we do too. You might be one of the best acquisitions Alsco has ever transacted. So.
Thank you.
Oh, I know. Isn't that sweet? Lee?
Yeah, Lee Jr. This is my 30th year in the industry. Started with a competitor similar to Mike in 1995 and worked in the plant for 20 years. About 19 of that as a maintenance supervisor in that plant, and then 10 years ago started as a corporate engineer with that company, and then this will be my 4th year coming up in June. Will be my 4-year anniversary with Alsco.
Okay.
As
We've kept you busy in that time,
and
haven't we?
definitely have kept me busy as a corporate engineer, regional engineer for a while until October of 23 when I joined the large projects team.
Perfect. And Chris?
So my name's Chris Patillo. I did most of my tenure in the Pensacola branch. I've been working for the company for almost 18 years. I got hired on as the chief engineer there. Did that for about 4 years, and then went to production manager, and then went to service manager, and then after that I was able to join the safety and production team for Region 5, and then
So that was probably 2020?
2019. 2022.
Oh, okay. You joined S&P in 22. Okay.
Yes, and then whenever we all joined the new project team.
Okay. So you're kind of the one of these things is not like the other. Although you've got the chief engineer experience in your background, these three are more on the engineering side and you're more on the safety and production side. Is
Correct.
that right? Okay. Correct. Okay. And you've loved being in large projects, I
Loved
assume?
it.
Okay. That's the right answer. Yeah. So let's talk a bit about what it means to be a large project and how it differs from the normal day-to-day or the smaller projects that we have going on in branches. What do you think constitutes a large project? What makes sense for your group to get involved?
So the obvious is the new plants. So we have the 2 new builds over the last couple of years in Vista and Surrey. We've got another one coming up starting in Indianapolis, groundbreaking here in a couple months. So those are the obvious ones. Then we get in also to the larger branch projects where for example, Chicago, where we're basically replacing the whole and upgrading the whole soil room. So those are a few examples. You guys chime in whenever you want.
Yeah, I think it goes a long way also with offering support to the plants as well. When we do a large project, we're basically turning a plant upside down. And they need to know that we have people that are available to assist them with making the transitions, and also as those issues come up throughout the project and throughout the facility, that we have someone that can help make decisions and make the changes so that it's as smooth as it can be.
Right. And I kind of think about it where anytime multiple departments, it's hard to imagine a project where multiple departments aren't involved, but at scale where multiple departments or the entire production team or something are going to be affected, then it's helpful to have additional support. You're not just slotting in a new, feeder folder or something like that, which usually our branches, maybe with a little bit of corporate engineering help, they can handle that pretty quickly and do it over a weekend or something and not disrupt the operation. So Chris, how does your role then play into the large project? So what might you do in something like a Chicago versus what it might have looked like for you in Surrey or Vista?
So in Surrey and Vista, as far as the magnitude and size of a project like that, it involves, obviously it's going to take longer. It's going to involve more dealing with several different departments of that branch to be able to assist and train anything that we feel that they're going to be able to use whenever they do transition to a new facility. When it comes to a little bit smaller project like, say, Chicago or, say, Lanham taking on Hershey or something like that, on my role for the large project is trying to get that one individual department to succeed and be able to adjust and make changes that need to be able to be successful.
Yeah, I like that you brought up Hershey, because that's a scenario where it's not a construction project. It was just we had a very large, large in volume, large hopefully in dollar value too, but a large new customer coming in all at one time, which tends to disrupt the apple cart, anybody's apple cart, right? No matter how efficiently that branch is running, there's going to be, some random Tuesday where all of a sudden it's the line between before and after, and having extra resources seems to help smooth the way for improvement there. Ideally, we get involved earlier rather than later or even in the middle. It's a little hard to catch up after a while.
Yeah, I think the idea behind all this, or part of it, is to get involved early.
Yes.
Do a deep analysis months, weeks ahead of time, so that we know, how this is going to affect the branch.
Right. And so, Lee, talk a little bit about, you were involved in Surrey, but you were super involved in the San Diego move to Vista and spent a ton of time just in the old San Diego before we ever moved. So I'm not sure that that's obvious to everybody either, that we become deeply embedded in your current business. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, and I think getting everybody involved early with that in preparation for a move into a brand new facility, you have to learn who the people are that you're going to be supporting during that. So there's a lot of different personalities involved, and a lot of different talents that we have. And then going from there in the old facility to a brand new facility can be quite a change, for some of those employees. So yeah, getting involved early and getting everybody on board and what to expect for the new facility and setting those expectations prior to the move is definitely a big part of this too, because we want to be able to, for the most part, hit the ground running when we get there. Obviously, we're going to provide a lot of support for that engineering team specifically. To make sure that we aren't leaving them with no tools to make them successful, because our goal is the same as theirs. We want to see a successful startup.
And we're also assessing the personnel that's got to move over in a new plant situation. So
That was a big part.
Correct.
Yeah, kind of see what additional training or exposure they may need to certain equipment or something.
Yeah, one of the biggest things we find is a culture change. that has to occur in order to be successful in a new facility versus the older facility that was status quo. That isn't always acceptable when we move into our new facilities or a larger plant or whatever it is. So we have to make sure that we mentally prepare our staff, not just our engineering or maintenance staff, but also the production staff also needs to be able to be transitioned, into a different culture in what we're trying to build.
Even if, so let's say we take a napkin feeder, their day-to-day job has not substantively changed, but everything has also changed.
Yes.
And so that sometimes those are the more subtle, difficult moves, I think, because it would be easy to say, you're going to keep doing what you're doing. And that's the whole story that we tell them. But it's simple stuff like your times of work may change, your shift may change. We may ask you to move to different equipment throughout the day in order to increase efficiency. So it's just different sensibilities. So there's really not one person left untouched in the facility.
And recognizing that in each individual, being able to be sympathetic to what they're feeling.
Right.
Their life may be turning upside down in a sense. And to be able to recognize that and say, hey, we're here for you. We're here to support you. We understand what we're going through. What can we do to help?
Yeah. So how do we, in all of our regions, of course, we have a corporate engineer assigned to each region. We have a corporate S&P person assigned to each region. They will continue to support. So let's say we build a new plant in Region 3 or Region 4 in the case of Surrey. We still have those resources available. What's the best way, do you think, Chris, to kind of keep them integrated in the process until we're ready to kind of fully hand it off to them after we've gone live?
So, the production and safety involvement whenever we're going to be doing a new branch facility starts a lot. It starts really early. So in case, circumstances like Vista. So we were in there 6 months prior, and when the S&P for that region also comes in and assists early on, not as frequently as, say, a large project person, but they're going to want to be also involved in it, know what changes are going to be happening, and what processes that we're going to want to look at. So their involvement is extremely important, especially whenever the transition's already happened. And then they're going to be taking over that process.
Right.
And they're going to, they need to know, what they're going to have to keep working on to make sure that branch is still successful in the new one.
Right. And to the degree that we've changed the way that we are doing anything, they have to be brought up on all of that. Otherwise, we risk some degradation after we leave site. Yeah. So that's kind of how we incorporate the corporate resources. And I think it's important for people to know, too, with some of these longer term projects, particularly a new build, I mean, we're talking design 2 to 3 years potentially earlier than when we're going live. I mean, it's a very long-term process.
Yeah, it's at least a 2-year process.
At least 2 years, that's right, yeah. And I think that, through COVID and then supply chain delays that happened through COVID, and things have kind of settled down maybe, but not completely gone back to pre-COVID, that timeline is a little fluid, shall we say. Like we're less and less certain about it.
Definitely not uncertain about it. It's different in each city.
Right.
We thought we were going to have it easier in Indianapolis, and it doesn't appear to be going any faster there.
Right. It's not difficult, but it's not fast.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Better way of putting it. It's not difficult, but not fast.
Right. Which then makes it difficult for us from a predictability standpoint in prepping the branch. So we're trying to come in as the authority, and we are the best known authority in that moment, but it certainly doesn't mean that we know everything. So talk a little bit about how we ourselves work through that uncertainty and how we communicate and help the branch deal with that uncertainty.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the word fluid. You have to be able to adapt to whatever may be come. I mean, Vista, for an example, we had some delays from some of the municipalities, and again, some things accomplished, and the entire team, along with the location, were patient with that. Yeah, we would have liked to see things happen sooner, but we were able to accommodate, and it ended up being very successful on the end. But keeping everybody engaged and enthusiastic is a part of it also, because you can get a little deflated when you have a delay after delay, and especially for our team, we're traveling, so now it's extra weeks or extra months that we're on a project that we may not have anticipated in the beginning.
So you're part cheerleader too.
Oh yeah,
Did you ever?
100%.
Oh yeah. Did you ever imagine that when you were?
That might be higher than part. It might be 50%. You have to be cheerleader because you're trying to keep everybody else on board.
That's right.
I mean, this is their home.
I think about it as, in certain points of the project, we're the energy in the room. So even if we're having a bad day, which we're going to have, or difficult or frustrating, or fill in the blank, it does not excuse you from knowing that people are watching you, and if your energy is deflated and you are openly expressing that, we're going to bring the rest of them along with us. And that's more, you're signing up for more work when you do that, right? Because you're going to have to get them back to being excited. So,
but I think clear communication bridges a lot of those gaps as well. When we find out that these delays are going to occur, to be able to relay that to the branch so that they're kept in the loop and they know that they're an important part of what we're doing, makes a big difference as well.
And we're not trying to hide from the communication or be like, if we just go underground for 48 hours, maybe something will magically change and I'll never have to tell you that this negative thing happened.
Yes.
I think that's...
Yeah, and we develop relationships with these people
Yes.
over the many months that we're going through this process. And, you start out the project, you may not even know some of these people, but by the end of it, you're sometimes close friends.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
You develop relationships through the communication.
And those relationships really come quickly because I think they realize we're all there to help them. And that's what it's really about, is we're here to support, help the effort, and make sure that they're going to be successful.
Last question for each of you, just kind of like a quick fire. What's one of your favorite projects and why? Chris?
I think Vista is, mainly because I had the ability to be in some of the design phases to offer production input on certain processes that would make them better. And we're not kind of after the fact, oh, we should have done this or we should have done that. And being able to have that input early in the beginning is a huge benefit. Plus, the way that these new facilities that we're doing, the technology that they have is outstanding.
Pretty exciting.
It really is. You go to a traditional plant that we're used to and accustomed to seeing day in and day out, and then you step into one of these facilities, and it's really eye-opening on the possibilities of what new technology can do to make your jobs easier.
Yeah. Lee, favorite project and why?
I'm going to copy Chris on Vista because it was feet on the ground that I had from, an empty shell of a building all the way through today. Just had a conversation with them on another success that they had. One of the employees there that just discovered something that we've been, working through for a little while. So the satisfaction of seeing a job of this size complete that you're heavily involved with from the beginning is gratifying. So I enjoyed it. I'd have to say Vista.
Okay, Jeff?
Well, for me, if you had asked the question 5 years ago, I would have said Atlanta, because it was one of the largest plants in the country, not just in Alsco, but in the country, period.
It's a huge building.
Yeah, I had a lot to do with that. But recently, I would say Surrey would have been my favorite project because, as you know, I gave my heart and everything into that project, and
Canadian citizen for a while.
And it was actually a pleasure. The people were very nice to me. They were flexible, and, there were particular wants that they had that we were able to discuss, and some were granted and some were not. But along the way, I think they understood that we're going to do the best thing that we can for their efforts that they're putting into it. And that's what I think we accomplished, and I think we've had some successes, in the Surrey branch as well. I did work with the Vista facility as well, and even had some emergency calls where I was able to assist as well, but I think Surrey outweighed that for me.
Yeah. And Mike?
I think I'm going to go with Surrey too.
Okay.
Surrey and Vista are close, but in Surrey we had more of a blank canvas. We were working with just a piece of property, and we started from scratch. Whereas Vista, we started out with the existing building.
Yeah, that was a challenge for sure.
But with both of them, with all the new stuff, with the new innovation we've tried with automation and just new processes for several different departments of the plant, it was challenging yet rewarding. So I think both of those were similar in that aspect.
It's a brave new world. It's exciting for both of them. Yeah, it's exciting for the company. Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's always my pleasure to work with you guys, as I think you know. So I look forward to many more new branches in the future.
Well, we enjoy working with you too.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's all for today's episode of the It Pays to Keep Clean podcast. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of Alsco uniforms, where we explore the growth and challenges in our industry. Tune in next time for more industry insights, growth strategies, and tales from the field. If you've enjoyed our time together, please leave us a rating and review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you want to learn more about our services, visit us at alsco.com. From all of us here at the It Pays to Keep Clean podcast and Alsco Uniforms, thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you in the next episode.